Good afternoon, YouTubers. Tsquare here with Tsquare Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Almost the end of the week. I wanted to talk about a couple of different things before we get started on the video, on the topic for the day. Although it will kind of lead into it because it's kind of a recap. It's kind of a little bit about what's going on. Just to kind of, one, get something across that I didn't say correctly last night, and I didn't really mess at all today, and even if I had, I would not have rechanged my video because I'm not going to pull a video down and then re-edit it. So I had made a comment yesterday about rice. I told you guys what's going on with the rice situation over in India. Inflation has gotten so bad that rice is now a banned export item. They don't want their rice getting banned. They don't want their rice being shipped outside the country. They want all the rice because it's a staple item to stay in-house. Now, I had made a comment about a 50-pound bag of rice that I had sitting on my counter, and it's been sitting there for 6 months. One of the things that I had said with it, I didn't know if I was going to keep it. Yeah, I mean, you know, you get rice like this, but in a big heavy-duty bag for 6 months. I don't know. I usually would package stuff up right off. However, we're in summer now. It's hot, and I've been extremely busy with a bunch of different projects. Plus, I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel, so I've been really pushing to do videos every day. And as you guys have seen the growth, it's been extremely helpful, which brings me real quick to my next thing, though. Please take a quick minute. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit that thumbs up button because it really does help the channel out more than you know. It's the number one thing you can do for me is subscribe and thumbs up. Someone made a joke the other day. I actually like subscribers more than I like my silver. And that's pretty much a true statement. It was actually in a shout out video. Which brings me to my next thing. For those of you guys that want a shout out, to do a shout out, make sure you guys get that in. There's only one right now, that one person that I've seen their shout out video and I have their name on the list. If you've done a shout out video, make sure you let me know. I will be on the lookout for any, but if you tell me, hey, I did a shout out, I can jump over, I can check. And if you did, I'll get your name on that list, because it's pretty easy to win some free silver if you did a shout out. But that's not really what this video is about. It's just kind of a recap. So when I had said that in the video, my thoughts on it was, you know, rice is cheap, or it was $20 for a 50-pound bag of rice. And we've talked about this time and time again on the channel that, you know, rice is a staple item. It's cheap, and a lot of work goes into growing rice. Tons and tons of work. It's the item that has the longest growing season. A lot of people don't know that. The rice plants take longer than any other plant to produce the food. So that's why, well, I don't know, you can maybe say asparagus. Asparagus actually takes 5 years, but for the most part, they'll tell you rice is the longest growing season. But as I'm sitting here, because my parents grew asparagus, but with that being said, it's so cheap. Think about that, 50 pounds for $20. And people underestimate it because it's such a cheap item. We think about our silver, we think about our gold, maybe we have some meats in the freezer. Maybe we've got some canned meats that we jarred, canned, vegetables. People think of everything. A lot of people don't always think about rice because it's such a cheap item. It's a cheap item. It's easy to throw in your pantry. It is an item that I would say should be number 1 or number 2 in your inventory. Rice and beans, to me, hands down, number 1 prep item. Rice and beans. I would put it above anything else except for maybe water, but for food, rice and beans. And there's no reason someone shouldn't have it. However, because it's so cheap and I had that bag for like 6 months to 8 months, I'd made a comment that I was on the fence of tossing it. Why? Because for $20, I could just get another one. It was a small price. But then with everything happening, I decided not to. I said, no, I'll do something with it. Maybe I'll hurry up and do what I should have done 6 months ago and put it in the Mylar bags. You guys know I put a ton of stuff in Mylar bags. And essentially, it's probably nothing wrong with it, but I made a comment about, it could have bug or it could have something in there. It's not going to kill me. A couple people made jokes about being extra protein, that type of stuff, but I didn't want it to make it sound like, oh, my rice is infested with bugs. And I was like, what in the world did I say in that video that made all them comments? So I went back and listened to it, and that was the case. So that is going to be it on the rice topic. We're going to jump on to the silver topic now. Silver. What happened today? For those of you that don't know, Jerome Powell, they did raise interest rates. And with interest rates, the dollar got stronger, essentially. Still weak, in my opinion, but it did give it a perception of it getting stronger. The only interesting thing, we didn't see silver come down like I had thought. We actually seen it go up, and we seen it go up in a big way, which was pretty interesting. It jumped back up to $25 after we've seen it all the way down to $23.20. So far this week, we've seen about a $1.80 jump. Now, normally, I would say that I think that silver is going to jump. I hate to say this, but because we've seen it jump so fast, that paints that we could see another small pullback. That jump was just really fast and unjustified, in my opinion. What's changed in the last day that I would say is unjustified? Essentially, by them raising interest rates, we did make the dollar a little bit stronger. However, we compounded the problem. And what I mean by that is with interest rates going up, you can probably expect people to pay down some of their bills. You can expect banks to have a kind of a harder time with their bonds, and it's going to feed out to the government. It's going to cause another crisis. All this is one big thing. It's like they want to cause a crisis. And I really believe that they look at it as, don't let a good crisis go to waste. It's something we've heard. We've talked about it time and time again. And so my thoughts are now that I'm looking for a slight pullback. Do I like gold? I still like gold. However, I really like silver better. I would like to see the pullback back down to $24, 23 and change before I want to buy silver again right now. I have my silver, though, already. I've got silver. Can you ever really have enough? Well, we've done videos on that there's never enough. It's always going to be one more ounce than what we got. But with that being said, I still sleep well at night knowing that I already have a certain amount of gold and silver. If something bad happens, I have food, I have water, I have security, I have the stuff that I need. And for the people that don't have any of that, they really should consider starting prepping. Food and water first, security second, and gold and silver third. With that being said, I'm looking for a pullback. Now, I know some people are like, oh, that's crazy, all this. We're not going to see a pullback. I'm with you. I mean, but the numbers are painting a different picture, in my opinion. Now, my thoughts on silver, the reason I put a lot into silver. You guys know I pick up a lot of coins. I'm always picking up stuff. A lot of that has to do with the fact that this is getting overprinted. Now, I won't lie and say this doesn't have a purpose. This has a purpose. When I used to go to Disney World with my son, we would use those little Disney dollars, Disney bucks. They had Mickey Mouse on the 1 and Donald Duck on the 5, and maybe you guys have seen them. That has a purpose. You use it while you're in Disneyland. It's kind of like their own little money. It's fun. And what do? Everybody always brings some home. Hey, can you sign this Mickey dollar? And they sign it and you take it home, and they basically just printed $1. And that's about really what it comes down to. When I go to the casinos, I use poker chips. I literally will tip the waitresses in poker chips. I've paid for my meals in poker chips. They accept poker chips all around the casino. They know it's just like U.S. currency. And unfortunately, the day-to-day transactions, I had Chinese food today, and if I had to pretty much use paper to pay for it. Ended up going to the gas station, paper to pay for it. You need a certain amount of paper. How much paper is a different story. I don't want to come home at the end of the day with $500, $600, $700 in Disney World dollars. I don't want to come home at the end of my vacation with $500 or $600 in poker chips. In fact, I found two $25 poker chips in my bag from Harrah's Casino in New Orleans, and I said, man, I felt bad because I knew it wasn't money. And I realized this right here, this is not money. People treat it as money because they accept it. Just like in the casino, they accept the casino chips. But eventually, you understand that this does not hold value. It doesn't hold value. It's not like silver. Silver, where it holds value, it retains. It will always have value. Will it fluctuate a little? Yeah, but you can make the argument this fluctuates. And we know it's fluctuating. But the bad thing about this always fluctuates in a downhill. Someone might say, well, no, the dollar got stronger for 1 or 2 days. Did you really see the prices really revert back to, 10 cans of soup for $1? I mean, yeah, you might see stuff go on sale, but at the end of the day, you're probably not going to see that. Excuse me, I'm yawning. But at the end of the day, gold and silver, you might see a light little pullback, but it's usually always going up. And I look for these pullbacks because what we're seeing right now is basically stairs. And, you might see a flat line. You might even take a step down only to take 2 up. You're slowly moving up the ladder because your silver and gold is slowly becoming worth more and more. I talk to a lot of people about this, both on YouTube and in my real life, and I recognize that silver and gold is money. Do I trade some off? Yeah, I trade some off all the time. You guys know I am in a trading group where we trade. Everybody picks a coin that they like. Maybe they get a tube of them, and then hey, you want this one, you want that one. It's a nice way to pick up stuff. It's a nice way to get people talking about it. For me, it's a nice way to find out more about people. Oh yeah, where do you work? What do you do? What do you do for work? This and that. Well, once you know what people do for work, you can actually barter less with this and more with this. Case in point, I know a plumber now that is little by little learning about silver. He's interested in it. And if I need something, I'm going to call him up and say, hey, I'll tell you what. I got a couple of really cool coins I wanted to show you. I'll show them to him and be like, if you want to buy them, I'll sell them to you for this. Or better yet, I'll tell you what, come on over to my house, fix my kitchen sink, fix something that broke, and I'll trade you this. I hear people tell me often that no one is going to take an ounce of silver for something you need at the store. And that's totally not true. If you talk to somebody at a store, a mom and pop, not a Walmart, but you go in to talk to a manager of a mom and pop store, a manager of a business, you talk with them a little, don't just come out and be like, hey, I'll trade you this for, a sandwich or this for a buffet. Don't come out and, talk like that. Just talk normal to them. They see the coin, you have it in your hand, they talk to you about it. Before you know it, they're asking you questions about it. And these are the things that really help you build up a network. The number one thing you can do, in my opinion, is have a network in place of other stackers. If you're alone, it's a whole lot harder because if you've got to sell, you've got to go to a pawn shop and sell, or you might be lucky and have a coin shop in your area. I've seen a lot of pawn shops in my area now. They're selling silver at $49 an ounce. And it's funny because when they buy it off people, they buy it for what? 20 maybe? And then they're selling it for more than double. But if we work together and we teach other people about it, then little by little, those people don't sell to a pawn shop. They'll sell to you. And once they sell to you, you treat them good. it moves back and forth. If I need money, I'm going to go to one of my friends and I'm going to say, hey, look, here's a tube. Here's a tube of silver. You know, spot me $500 for it for a week. You know, miscellaneous stuff, maybe 600. I don't know. Whatever you guys agree on. A 10-ounce bar. You know, there's a lot of different things to think about. Maybe it's a gold coin. It all depends what you have. Sometimes they'll spot it to you. Sometimes they'll be like, well, I really don't want to spot it, but I'll buy it. Me, I like it better when I can loan it to someone and they'll hold it and I'll get it back once I give them their money back. And usually we put a time frame on that. Usually there might be a little something extra. Hey, buy me lunch. When you give me my money back, buy me lunch too. That's a little bonus. You know, so with that being said, I want people to fully understand what's going on. I want people to be watching stuff, be mindful, make sure you got your preps in order, make sure you got, you know, water and food, security, and then you're stacking up some coins. Specifically silver or gold. I gotta specify that. Now this ain't financial advice, it's just my opinion. But it is something you should really consider. Cause when it does explode, I was just watching a video in Lebanon where there was an old lady trading in some of her jewelry just for a little bit of money to buy food. And she was sad that that was all she was getting. But on the flip side, she said, you know, I'm hoping to buy some rice. I'm hoping to buy some little bit of meat, some bread, and maybe, you know, do a couple of good meals and put some stuff up because it's getting hard over there in Lebanon for people that don't have money. And that could really happen here. I don't think people understand that that could happen here. The only difference here, I mean, people are more greedy, I would say. Here in the U.S., we tend to hoard more. I don't know if they do that more overseas, but I call it prepping. Some people want to call it hoarding. Either way, you know, the difference is a hoarder runs out and gets the stuff at the last minute. A prepper has already been planning for this. We've known this was coming. Our day is already almost here where this is going to lose value. Silver is going to shine. And when that happens, that's going to be it. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video. Something to think about. Get yourself some rice, get yourself some silver. You know, it's just paper. It's just paper, and you're going to see how quick this can get watered down, I believe, in the near future. There's another crisis right around the corner that they're probably already not telling you about, but they already know it's coming. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. And have a great one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.